Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to Lone Oak Farm. It's the first day of winter and we're going to kick off winter with a bang because we have a great demand. And it's a great demand for barley and it's a really good price as well. It's actually, I think, a better price than we got last year when we sold on peak day for actually selling our barley. Let's just load the trailer up. So there you can see, we have a great demand of $947 per 1,000 litres in Agri XJS. Now that, if with a little bit of mental maths, works out at around about 62,000 per trailer. And we have a little over 4 trailers. It's going to be 4 trailers and around 10,000 litres left over. So we are looking potentially at around $250,000, maybe even $260,000 here. Now, I could hold off. If we check the prices here, you can see barley is supposed to go up a bit tomorrow and then up a little bit more on day 3, but those are going to be small increases on what we have right now, I would say, and it's also going to be at a standard market rate, so they'll fluctuate and they'll drop as the price goes up. As grain goes through the sell point, the price will drop and drop dramatically because we're going to be double tipping this year, 2 trucks at the same time. So we're going to sell all 270,000 litres of our barley today, right now. It's an 18-hour great demand. I'm not entirely sure what time it started. It was with us like this when we woke up, but even if it started at midnight, and I don't think it would have done, but even if it started at midnight, that still gives us till 6 PM to get all of our grain shipped, and it's not going to take that long to do 5 trips back and forth to Agri XJS. It just isn't. So we have plenty of time to get this grain to market, and I get the feeling this great demand will actually go on way past 6 o'clock. As I say, it is an 18-hour great demand. Incredibly lucky to get this price at this time of year. We've had great demands. A lot of the time we've had them, they've been completely off season for us, so it's been like, great, here's a great demand for a rubbish price, which is completely like the opposite end of your selling window. Now we've actually got a great demand that's come at pretty much the right time. The only thing that could have made this more perfect was a great demand on day 3. But it's day 1, it's only a little bit less than it could potentially get in a couple of days, and it's a fixed price. So everything goes through at $947. So it's a bit of a no-brainer, really. We're tipping the whole lot, and we're going to, as I say, stand to clear somewhere in the region of $250,000 to $260,000, which is an amazing chunk of cash for our barley that I just wasn't expecting us to get. So that's the really good news, and the other kind of good news slash bad news is that our new facility is in the middle of being constructed. Most of the work is done. It's a little bit of final construction going on, and mainly the wiring is being done at the moment as well. But hopefully our new combine depot will be up and running by around about midday. We've already paid for it, and it's cost us a fair amount of cash. It's cost us close to $160,000 to get this thing set up. But it's going to be worth it. It's going to be a very nice, high-tech storage area for our combines, complete with built-in workshop and pressure washer. So we couldn't really not do that. We need the space. We just don't have enough space at the main farm, really, for the combines and the 4 headers, along with everything else that we've purchased, to expand our equipment range. So getting their own depot, it made sense. It'll get them out of the way because we're not going to need them again till next harvest season. So why take up all that space at the farm for a very long period of time doing nothing? So just tag the weighbridge here. There we go. Why leave all that cluttering up our storage at the farm when we can actually have them off-site somewhere, nice and secure, locked up with maintenance facilities there as well. So, yeah, that building should be ready hopefully by around midday, which I'm guessing is probably going to be about the time that we're finished with our grain runs. Maybe a little bit sooner than that. We'll see. How much are we going to get for this first trailer? I'm reckoning somewhere in the region of 61,000 or so is what we're going to get. If my maths is correct, somewhere around 61,000. Halfway through, or just over halfway through, 2/3. It's looking good. It's looking very good. $61,834. That's awesome. And we got another 3 of those trailers to come, and then, as I say, another sort of 10,000 or so litres left over. So we stand to clear a very, very large sum. That's going to pay for the depot and probably an extra 100 grand on top of that as well. So that's a great way to start today and start winter. You know, paying for the facility and making a profit at the same time. Awesome stuff. So I'm going to start running back and forth between the silo and Agri-XJS. We're going to sell all of that barley, and I'll see you when we're done. So 4 trailers in and we're up to 249,000, although that's not entirely accurate. Don't forget we have had a little bit of money in the bank already when we first started, and on top of that we've been getting a little bit of money every hour for our solar panels as well. So not 100% accurate there, but a good kind of representative figure. I would say probably 247 is probably an accurate figure, 246, 247, and we've got 8,385 left from the silo. That's our last run here. So this is going to put us well over 250. This is going to give us a payout of probably around about $8,000. Maybe just a fraction under. So a nice little payday today to get the ball rolling. That is absolutely fantastic. So pleased that we've got this great start to our winter. I was really worried that we were going to struggle to get everything sold at good prices, and the very first day of winter we get this brilliant, great demand, with a price better than we got last year on peak sale day as well. We got really kind of unlucky with the prices last year across the board, pretty much. I mean, we did quite well on corn, but they weren't stellar prices for corn. Soybean, obviously, in the summer we got hit quite badly. We had red prices for the first tips, and then we kind of recovered the prices a bit on the second tips right at the end of the day, but we didn't have stunning prices for wheat or barley last year. Again, we just caught the market in a downwards, or kind of not necessarily a downward, but certainly not a massively proactive state. I mean, this is higher than the money we got for corn last year. This 947 per 1,000 litres. So how could we pass that up, really? There was no way we could not sell everything that we had today for barley just to get it through at this great fixed price of 947 per 1,000. And haven't had confirmation yet, but our facility should be getting ready to be finished, hopefully around midday. Might have to wait an extra half an hour or so for final confirmation, but as soon as it's ready and we've been given the all clear, we will head down there and go take a look at our new $160,000 depot. And I'm really looking forward to getting that up and storing our combines in there, moving them over there, and getting those trailers off the yard with the headers on them, just sitting out there in the open because we've got nowhere to store them. So here we are then for one final time today, hitting Agri XJS, stop on the weighbridge. And there we go. Let's pull on through. And tip the last 8,000 litres. And there we go, 7,943. So yeah, just under 8,000 litres there. So a very, very profitable day indeed. We spent 160. And then we made around 200, well, over 250. So we've actually turned, despite spending a lot of money on that new depot, we've actually turned a 90 grand profit. And it's just as well, really, because without the orchard and with milk at low value, thanks to raising those calves that were bred early in the year, our milk sales have been steadily dropping throughout the year. We were getting about 8,500. Early autumn. By the end of autumn we were getting 8,000, just about 8,000, and then last night we got just under 8,000, 7,900 I think it was, for our milk sales. So the milk hasn't been stellar. It'll go up next year as we get into spring, and that, well, hopefully through winter that money will start to go back up. But spring and possibly summer, we should start to see a big rise in our milk export values, and it'll start to drop off again around autumn next year. But hopefully we'll have bred some more cows, and that'll help balance that out a little bit. So yeah, it's not stellar money. It's certainly not covering our expenses, and without the orchard, we are running the farm at a loss every day at the moment. But this is all going to make it all worthwhile. These sales that we put through this winter, that's going to pay off a large chunk of our debt and put us on a very good even keel going into next year. And then next summer when we sell those soybeans, we are going to be absolutely rolling in it. And don't forget, we still have the silage to do. It's all blanketed now. Got it compacted last night to 100%, blanketed it. That's fermenting away, so that'll be ready the end of tomorrow. And then, as I say, depending on how our crop sales go, we probably won't be starting that till day 4, maybe day 5. We'll see how that goes. Now, can we see, as we approach the farm, can we see our depot in the distance? There it is. There's our brand new depot. Hopefully all the wiring is done and they're just putting the finishing touches on, and we should get the all clear pretty soon. So once we do, we will head over there and take a look at it and then start transferring our equipment over there. We've just been given the call from the engineering crew. They are done, they've cleared off, and it's time for us to go and inspect our brand new facility. So it's been positioned where it is deliberately because it's kind of at the point of the L on the layout of our fields. So our fields are kind of arranged in an L shape as they run down this side, and then as we get towards the bottom, they then scoot off over that way. And I thought putting the combine at this kind of like the angle point was a good place to actually store the combine shed. You can see actually we've got our Puma rolling away on the field for us. We are able to put a second, well, I say a second, that'll be the third stage of fertilisation on that field, so we won't need to worry about that. And we will need to pay a trip over to the sheep later today to feed them and give them a bit of water. So we'll also make sure that we roll out the field over there as well if we get time. But this is the way in, so we've got a little bump just there, and obviously got to be very careful of that big bump at the edge of the field there. But we go over this little bump way, and then we come into the facility here, and then this here, this is going to be the way in for us to store our headers. So they'll be parked sort of nose to tail in there, and then same there as well for the other two sets. And then around here we've got 1, 2, 3 big sized bays. Get the lights on. And obviously we only have 2 combines, but I'm also going to bring the brand new auger wagon when we pick up a Brent Avalanche, when we trade in our existing auger. We'll stick the Brent in here as well, and we'll get that to sort of sit in that bay just there, and then this will be combine bay number 1 and combine bay number 2. And I love these doors that we have here. You can only operate them from the inside, but this is such a great building. I love this. So we've got our 2 combine bays here. We'll get everything opened up because we will start bringing our combines over, and we'll bring the auger over as well. Before, actually no, we'll leave that one down because we'll be trading the auger in, so we'll leave that one down for now. And then as we come through here into the other half, you can see here this is where we'll be actually storing the trailers. The trailers themselves are a little bit too big, a little bit too long to fit in those bays for the combines, so they'll be stored in this section down here. But this will also be our maintenance area. So if I just jump in the truck and just drive through here, you'll see what I mean. We'll be bringing the trailers in, and then just here we have a maintenance area for our combines. So we'll be able to bring them in here, give them a good proper service, and give them a wash as well with our pressure washer. Make sure that they're nice and clean, and then send them back out through that door and then park them up in their bays. So we'll get the combine maintenance done first, and once that's done we'll bring the headers in and we'll get those all checked out as well. So yeah, this is our amazing brand new facility here. About 125,000 or 124,000 it cost me for the building itself. Another sort of 28,000 for the workshop facilities to be added in, with all the power connections that were needed for those as well, and then another 4.5 grand for the pressure washer. Those industrial Karcher pressure washers, not cheap, but there we go. So that is it. That is our brand new facility. and then we can obviously drive the header out this way, and then back out along here through the exit point and back onto this little dirt road here between our fields. So there we go, that's our combine facility. We'll get them over, we'll start putting them through their maintenance paces and get them parked away and locked up until we need them again next harvest. So the combines have been put through their repair schedule and slotted away in their respective bays. The headers have been transferred over to our new facility over there, and that's all locked up now for the winter. And we probably won't need to go back there again now, apart from to drop off the new auger wagon until next year, when we're ready to start doing some harvesting again. So I've just finished rolling out field 44, and we're heading over to the sheep to deal with field 24, and also to actually deal with the sheep themselves as well. I've already taken care of the cows while everything else has been going on, so I've given them some straw and some more TMR, top those up. Obviously can't give them any more grass now, there is no more grass, it's all gone. So I can't give them any more grass. We'll keep an eye on what's going to happen when that trough runs empty. Weirdly as well, I noticed that the grass trough inside the cow shed stopped spitting out grass. The food trough, there's the mess that the cows make, and started spitting out hay, which seemed a bit strange. So I'll keep my eye on that as well, see if that continues to happen. It's starting to get dark as well. As you can see, the sun is setting there. It's only just gone 5 o'clock. And the sun's already starting to set, so definitely getting darker a lot earlier at this time of year. And as we were talking about the cows as well, with their straw consumption that goes way up during winter, I had about a third of my straw trough left. And you've seen how many bales we've been putting in each time to top it back up, probably about 3 or so on average. It took 6 to this time to get the straw trough to go back up. So moving it into winter, now that the cows are staying indoors a lot more, it's doubled the amount of straw that I've needed to put in the trough to top it back up again. So that's a big increase. So we're going to burn through our straw bales this winter pretty quickly, I think, and then that'll slow down a little bit in spring, and then really slow down back to where it was when we hit summer again. In terms of finances, I'm holding on to about 18 grand. The rest of the money's gone into the bank. Holding into this little bit of cash simply because we've got workers that need to be paid still, and our expenses are still, we're still losing money at the moment because our orchard has dried up for the year. So our solar panels are giving us a little bit of cash, but not much, and our milk is giving us around 8,000 a day. It's at its lowest point at the end of autumn, so we were making around 8,500, then nearly 9,000, then down to 8,500, then down to 8, and I'm expecting it might actually start going back up again today now that we're in winter. I'm expecting to see that go back up again. And this is all because of calving season. So as the calves are born, which I think happens in the summer, if memory serves me correct, then as those calves grow up all through autumn, then the milk production goes way down because obviously they're being fed by the cows. Now that they've matured a little bit, that milk that was being used to feed them now becomes milk that we can sell. So our milk sales should start going up from midnight tonight. And you can see it in here as well, look. We've got a mixture of grass and hay that's being spat out. So that's kind of weird. The grass is obviously left over from yesterday. The hay seems to be what's being spat out today. It's very odd. I don't know why it changes like that. Never mind, when we can get it all into the food trough. No problem at all there. Let's try and get all that hay over here as well. Caught on something. Let's get that bit over by the pallets as best we can. Have to attack it from a different angle, I think. There we go, it's about as best we can. There's a bit underneath the pallets that we just can't get to. So we'll tip the hay in. There we go. Now we'll tip in the leftover grass. No point wasting this. Tip that in. And now let's go get some bales. A little bit of wool left over from last year. That'll roll over into when we start producing wool again in spring. When wool prices are at their absolute best. Oh, no, not that. It's the pallet forks. There's the bale spikes. So 3 bales should be enough. Just put the support in there so I can raise them up and tip them back a little bit. Ooh, just clip the next stack there. We'll fix that in a moment. So how many have I got left? Again, we'll check on that in a second. Let's get these into the food trough first of all. Be careful they don't slide around too much. Oh, 2 bales, it appears, is enough. Yeah, 2 bales. Okay, so that's where we are with our animals right now. So you can see our sheep are at 92% health. Really are kicking on towards 100. They'd already be there if we hadn't screwed up last year. And our cows are already up to 88% health as well, which is really good to see. So their health is definitely improving. And I'm hoping that's going to increase their production as their health continues to go up. So we should hopefully get more wool. And as far as the cows go, more milk, you know, with a higher health percentage. Let's just push those back a bit. There we go. Drop that 1 bale there. There we go. So how many bales do we have left? 3, 6, 9, 18, 19 bales. So we've got plenty of hay bales to last us through the winter. That's good. I wasn't sure if we would potentially run out. I thought it was a possibility, and we could always take some extra bales because we've got plenty of hay at the main farm with our cows. So we could always have come and lifted some of that and transferred it over. But I think we'll be fine with what we've got here. We're not burning through it at such a fast rate that we can't keep up. So there we go. We'll lock that shed down for the next couple of days. And nothing left to do now, but to turn the worker loose and roll out field 24, and that is the final act for today. Tomorrow we are going to be replacing some equipment, and I've been making some calls and chatting away with Sam at Manning's as well, and we're going to be getting rid of the rollers. We're going to go to the Einbach 9-meter weeder for next year. So we're just going to have a single weeder, and it's the one with the planter box on it, so that if we do need to do any grass repair work, we will have the ability to do that with that particular weeder. And it's one I haven't really used before, because the other weeder was so much cheaper, and also 12 meters. I just always went for that one. But I figured, we may as well up to the 9-meter weeder. So we'll get rid of both of our rollers, and that'll help with our slot count for next year as well. So that might hopefully help frame rates a little bit, but it also gives me more options, because we're going to be replacing the mixer tomorrow as well, and also the auger wagon. So another expensive day, but we will get to trade some bits in and make a little bit of money back off the purchase price. And if we're really lucky, you never know, one or two of those items might pop up on a sale as we're about to buy them. It probably won't. It's very rare they ever do. They usually pop up on a sale just after I buy them, as opposed to just before. But we can keep our fingers crossed. You never know. So I'm going to finish rolling this field off, and then close the farm down for the night, and I will rejoin you in the morning. What is a miserable, damp start to the day, and as you can see, it has snowed overnight. Not too much, just a little bit. We've got a couple of layers worth of snow here. We can still see our cover crop here, just pushing up through the top of the snow there. And today we're off to go and sell some equipment. So we're going to be getting rid of both of these two rollers here. We're also going to be getting rid of this here as well, replacing these two with a single 9-meter weeder, which will hopefully make things a little bit easier and a little bit faster for us. And we'll also be replacing this with the Avalanche from Brent, just to give us a bit more capacity when we're working on the larger fields. You can see the shed's looking a little bit empty now that we don't have the two combines in here. Obviously they're nestled over at their new facility. We do still have obviously the forage harvester in here with the various different headers. I did toy with the idea of sending that down there as well, but because of the headers as well, I figured it would probably be easier to just keep that up here. And then we have our sprayer. Still not sure whether I'm going to replace that this year or not. And then we've got our 3 tractors, and still got all of our original kind of grass equipment from last year as well. So that's not changing. Or at least I haven't got any major plans to change it. You never know. Things may change as we move around. But we're going to take the Optum out. We'll start off transferring all of the equipment up there. We'll start off with the auger itself. And once all this is sort of in place, hopefully we'll be able to get a good part exchange deal. Our new equipment hasn't arrived yet at Manning's because of the weather. There was obviously the snow has made some of the transport routes a little bit more precarious, and so we're still waiting for that equipment to actually arrive at Manning's, but it has been ordered, and obviously we'll be paying for it when we collect it. So let's go and see what kind of trade-in we can get on our existing equipment in terms of this auger and the 2 rollers, and to offset those bits of cash against the price of our new stuff. So there's one last piece of equipment that we also need to transfer up to the store for part exchange a little bit later, and that is the mixer. Now we do still have a little bit of TMR still in it. Well, I say a little bit, about 10,000 litres, 11,000 litres even of TMR still in here. So hopefully we can actually just drop this straight in the food trough for the cows. As I was saying yesterday, you know, our milk sales have been going down and down and down throughout autumn because the calves were growing up and they needed that milk. But they have now reached a point where they are a bit more mature, and the milk sales should be better available to us now. And that has definitely borne out. If we take a look at our finances here, you can see here is our sold milk. So we were at like 8.9 on I think the previous Sunday. Then 8.4, then 8, then 8, and then down to 7.8 yesterday. And today, when we hit midnight today, 28,000. Our milk sales have gone way up as a result of those calves no longer needing their mother's milk, which means that we have a lot more to sell. So finally, we're starting to get some good money from our cows in terms of milk. We actually turned a profit overnight. Not a huge profit, but we did turn a profit, and that's the first time we've turned a profit without the need for the orchard. So that is fantastic. It's great to see that our farm is now in a profitable state. Yeah, it's not a particularly huge profit, but it all adds up. And as long as we're not losing money, then that's a bonus. You know, break even would be good. Profit is even better. So we'll get this whizzed up to the store and get it all appraised by Sam, and then he'll give us an idea as to how much money we can expect as a part exchange. He did have a quick look at the equipment we've already dropped off, which is the auger and the 2 rollers, and said we can probably expect somewhere in the region of around 38 to 45,000. He needs to give him a proper look over, and obviously he needs to look over this as well. So it'll be interesting to see just how much we can get for the mixer and add that in, because the new mixer is going to cost us about 150. The weeder's quite expensive as well, at around I think about 80,000. 80, 85, somewhere in that kind of price range. So, you know, it's another day of spending a lot of money, but we will hopefully be able to recoup, you know, a fair bit. If we can recoup, say, a third of the cost, maybe even half the cost, then that would be really, really helpful to us. So we've picked up our equipment that's now finally been delivered. You can see here we've got our new auger wagon, the Brent Avalanche. We've also got our new weeder on the front there, and also in the bay, which we're going to have to come back and collect. And we're going to bring back the gooseneck on the back of our Julie and collect that. Is our self-propelled mixer. I mean, we could drive it all the way back, but it's a long way, and we don't really want to put unnecessary wear and tear on a vehicle that's not really designed for main road use. So we will load that onto the back of the back of the truck, the pickup truck, and the gooseneck trailer, and we'll take it back to the farm that way. We are really up against it financially again. as a result of these expenses, I completely forgot, when I was working out the costs in my head, I completely forgot about the cost of the auger, which was over $100,000. Very big, but very expensive. I think it was about 110, 111,000, something like that off the top of my head. I forget exactly how much they cost. The weeder was 87,000 and the mixer 150,000. Now we did manage to recoup around $76,000 for our traded equipment. So the rollers and the old mixer, and also the old auger wagon. They've all been part exchanged, and we got around about 76,000 for the lot of it. So we've made quite a good little sort of indentation on the cost of the weeder and the mixer. We'd paid for a good chunk of those, which is what I was hoping for. But unfortunately, we completely forgot about the cost of the auger wagon itself, which is horrendously expensive. So we are now in a position where we're about 1.446 million in debt, I think. And obviously tomorrow is going to be the main day when we sell a lot of our crops off, and so we're going to make a fair amount of cash back tomorrow. We're going to make some money selling our barley. No, not our barley, we've already sold that. Our wheat. We'll make some money selling our wheat, and we'll make some money selling off our corn. Whether we sell all of the corn remains to be seen, but we will make a nice, hopefully a nice tidy amount of cash for those. And if we have to get up at the crack of dawn to catch the markets at their best time, then we will do that. We will be absolutely maximising just how much money we can get from our grain sales tomorrow. And then, if we have an overspill, we've potentially got Thursday. Well, no, day 4. It's not Thursday. What day is it today? Wednesday tomorrow. So we've potentially got Wednesday as well. If I was right. Yeah, day 3 tomorrow is Wednesday. That is Cropdale. That's crop sale day. And Thursday, wouldn't you know it, is actually day 4. So I just kind of pulled Thursday out of my head for some reason, and it turns out that happens to be the right day. But yeah, fantastically, we do have that extra day available if we need it, where the prices should still be pretty strong. So let's get everything lined up in here. We'll take the weeder back to the main farm, but the auger's going to live in here with the harvesters. Again, this isn't something we're going to need until the harvest. So, I mean, we could have waited until next year to buy this, I suppose, but yeah, we've got the new shed, we've got the combines in place. I wanted to get the auger in there as well, so there we go. Winter is really the best time to do our equipment refresh. So we'll drop that there and we'll stick that on the back. There we go. That little patch that I damaged, I did reseed that with the with the roller before we got rid of it. So that's been repaired, and that will start to grow back as grass next year. So you can see there we have got that planting in place to repair the damage that we did. Of course, we own this field now, so what we do with it is entirely up to us. And I'm toying with the idea of maybe the other side of the trees, where the second half of the field is, turning that into maybe a small potato field or a beet field. We haven't done root crops at all yet on this farm, so we have that option. And while I'm in here as well, I'll quickly show you the combine headers. So you can see that we have our 2 corn headers side by side in here, and obviously we'll open that door and drive out that way, and then the grain headers in this way, like this. And this is why I wanted to make sure that the combines went through their service before we brought the headers in, because there just wouldn't be space to move around otherwise. So everything over here is done. This facility can now be locked up until harvest time of next year. There we go. And let's go and put our weeder in the shed back at the main farm, and then that's it really for day 2. There's nothing else that we can get done. Our fields are still in the same transitional state. We kind of need to slurry them before we seed them, and we don't have any real sort of digestate or slurry to work with as of yet. You know, we've got crops to sell, but it's the wrong day, so we can't sell those yet. And you know, our silage is still fertilising at the BGA, and we want to wait till the crop's done and sold before we start work on that. So we've got a lot of money to come over the next few days to, you know, really offset those expenses that we've just laid out. But there's nothing else that we can get done today, really. So yeah, I think we'll just, as I say, park this up, and then we'll put our feet up and we'll have a nice relaxing afternoon watching a bit of telly. Or maybe a movie or something. I've got the home cinema downstairs. I might go and watch a movie down there. So let's drop that off. There we go. And park up. There we go. That's it. That is the end of day 2. Very short day, but not really much we can do, really. As I say, we're waiting for crops, so I'll keep an eye on the crop prices in the menu system. I'll watch the markets, see how they're doing, and if we get a sudden spike in a price tonight, I may potentially gamble and sell a little bit tonight, but it's highly unlikely. So if we do that, then obviously I'll come back and I'll show you that at the start of the next episode. But that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more Lone Oak Farm very soon.